Hello, thank you for coming back to my kitchen. You are very welcome as always. Today I'm going to be making Stilton stuffed mushrooms. It's a mixture of fried off onions, bit of garlic and Stilton. Put them in the mushrooms, these lovely big Portobello mushrooms here that I've got. Just making 2 today, but you can double up or treble up as to however many you want to make. And they also have these lovely breadcrumbs on the top that I'm just about to make first. They don't take very long really, it's quite an easy recipe. You can make this with smaller mushrooms if you wish, you'll just need to reduce the time of cooking, that's all. So we will get going with making the breadcrumbs. So I just use the ends of the bread. I've got the end of the bread here and I'm just going to pull the middle out and use that for breadcrumbs. Sometimes what I do, if I've got ends of the bread, I put them in the freezer. I normally got a few in there and just get those out for breadcrumbs. About 1 average slice. These are 2 tiny little slices here. I like to put the hard crusts in, but the soft crusts can go in. If you don't have one of these whizzer things, I'm sure that a blender will be just as well. In fact, you could probably get more in a blender. I have to do this in 2 lots. If you're wondering what these bits are in my bread, it's bread with olives in it. It's very nice actually. And to the breadcrumbs, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and quite a bit of pepper. This is the only seasoning that's going in the whole dish, so quite a lot of pepper will be nice. We'll just leave that for later. Okay, so now we want to wash our mushrooms. I don't know if you can see this on camera. These bits, just the bits, we're not peeling the mushrooms, but just these bits that are around the sides I like to take off to kind of tidy them up. They're like frilly bits around the side. They'll just pull off. Sometimes they're worse than others. There. And then just run them under the tap. Now because we're not peeling them, they need to be washed quite well. Do mushroom number 2. It's easier to get the edges off this one. There, that's enough. A bit more this side. Give them a good rub on this side to get any dirt off that's on them. Once the mushrooms are washed, we just need to push off I'll bring you down for the second one. I just push the stalk away. We will be using the stalk. Oh, and I hold on to the rest of the mushroom and push the stalk away. That would be fine. So we just hold on to the mushroom and just push. It's not coming away easily. That's it. And we'll be using these. You need a tin that's going to fit however many mushrooms you have. I'll just put them in there like that. They will go in the oven for 15 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. So while they're cooking, I am going to get my big pan out. We just need a little bit of olive oil in the pan. And we're going to chop up these mushrooms. I just chopped the ends off. That was the top, so that was the mushroom underneath, that's the top. I'm chopping that bit off, and then just chopping them as small as I can. And these will add flavour. These will go in the mixture that we're going to use for stuffing the mushrooms. Put those in. And now we're going to chop the onion and put that in too. So I'm using 1 red onion today. But if you haven't got red onions, an ordinary onion will be just fine. Now I am going to show you how I chop my onions, because I think if there's anyone out there that hasn't chopped an onion and they need to be chopped finely, they need to see it. But if you've been chopping onions for years, feel free to skip ahead. So I always cut in half and I'm going straight across. So lots of cuts straight across, and then if it's the bigger half, 2 cuts across this way, and then we just chop in as finely as we possibly can. And that's going to go into the pan. So we want the whole onion chopped and in the pan. And that will just sizzle away until it's cooked. So while that's cooking away, we need to cut up just 1 garlic clove. And I chop my garlic up exactly the same way as I do my onions. I do not like those garlic presses. I think you lose too much garlic. It's so easy to just chop them up finely. You will need to turn your heat down a little bit before putting the garlic in, otherwise it will burn. And in it goes. That's my mushrooms done. Oh, lovely. I'll bring you down to show you the liquid that's come out of the mushrooms. You can see here there's quite a lot of liquid come out. Just hold on to your mushrooms and pour all that liquid in the pan, and that will reduce down. Just leave it on low and that will all reduce down while we're getting the Stilton ready. In the time it's taken me to get the Stilton out of the fridge and the bowl, this has reduced down. So I'm going to take this off the heat. This mixture will be mixed with the Stilton, but it does need to cool slightly, otherwise it will just melt it. So the cheese I'm using today, blue Stilton. I hope you can see that. It's Tesco's own blue Stilton. I use half of this, so this is 220 grams, so I use 110 grams for this recipe. Obviously, if you've got more mushrooms, you'll need more. I do have people viewing my channel from all over the world. I find it amazing. I don't know if you can get Stilton from all over the world, but any blue cheese, a nice strong blue cheese. Oh, it's delicious. I do love Stilton. But any nice strong blue cheese will be fine. Keep my big knife out. So as I said, I'm just going to cut this in half. And I will wrap half for another recipe. Oops, we we use the half that's crumbled today. So this cheese, I like to take this horrible edge off. I never know if you're supposed to use that bit or not, but I don't like the look of it, so I'm not going to use it. That end is fine, but this end has that one too. I don't know if that's just me being fussy or what. Anyway, we just need to chop all this up. It will all crumble up nicely and pop it in a bowl. We don't want too big pieces left because it won't mix with the onion well. Then nice and finely chopped. So then we put the half cooled onion mixture in there. We want the cheese to melt very slightly, but you don't want to put this full heat in with the cheese. We don't want it runny, we just want to make a paste really. Where's my spoon? Oh, in the breadcrumbs. We'll need those anyway. So just mix this all up to a lovely paste. And this is what's going to fill those mushrooms. This is the bit I love. I love this. Because it starts smelling, you just get the mushroom and the garlic and the Stilton smell. Delicious. As you can see, that cheese just melts very slightly and goes into the gorgeous paste. There, perfect. So there's just one more thing to do to these mushrooms before we stuff them. And that's paint the bottom with a little bit of olive oil. Go over both of them with some olive oil. Now it's time for stuffing them. Just flip them over again. So you just want to divide this mixture between the two mushrooms and just pack it on the top really. That's why it's such a good, what's the word, consistency, this paste, because it holds itself. Let me just get a little spoon out. Finish. I think that's about everything out of there. So now for the breadcrumbs. Push these breadcrumbs into the cheesy paste mixture. Just pile the remainder on the top. So if you're curious of what this is all going to taste like, now's the time to have a taste. This is absolutely delicious. This Stilton mixture. Lovely. So once you've got them to this stage, they can sit for a couple of hours until you're ready for dinner. This is what is such a good thing about this recipe. You can prepare it all in the morning or in the afternoon for the evening, and it can sit and wait. It will just need 10 minutes in the oven on 180, or that was 350 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4, I remembered. Can't believe it. So they just go back in the oven for 10 minutes before serving, and they'll be all beautifully cooked. So it will come back. What's the time now? It's 4:30 now, and I won't be serving dinner until 7 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to leave these aside, have a rest, and then start the dinner. They'll go in with the potatoes for the last 10 minutes on 180, and they'll be done and they'll be beautiful. But I will come back and show you when they're cooked. That's the 10 minutes up. Oh, and they're sizzling away. Doesn't that look delicious? So I just have salad with mine. My son has salad and potatoes. Vegetarian, so we have this as a main course. But if you're not vegetarian, you could have it as a vegetable. It's a lovely vegetable. And all those bits that have gone all crispy around the edges are delicious too.